So we are still talking about division, but I've noticed lots of times when you've been doing your classwork and you've been turning it in and I've been checking it with our problems about technology, you've had remainders, and some of you don't know if you should put your remainder on your answer page or not, if your remainder should be included. So let's think logically about what we should do with our remainders. So today we're looking at a school group who won tickets to a Carolina Hurricanes hockey game. Now that'd be pretty cool. The group of 250 students and teachers were sitting in one section. Each row, so I can imagine I have a whole section that's been blocked off that just we're sitting in. So each row, so the section, I know the way the seats go, like an auditorium or a stadium where they're all in rows. So each row, it means I'm having to like split something up, contains 16 seats. So how many rows will they need to use so everyone has a seat? So I know I'm splitting 250 up into rows with 16 seats. So I know I need to divide 250 and see how many times 16 goes into it. Now I forgot to leave space over here on my left side for what we always do. 16 times 10, 16 times 100. Let's see what I can do. 16, that has 1 0. This has 2 zeros. So let's look. Way too big, obviously. So I'm going to try my 10 because I know 160 can go into that. So 10 times 60 is 160. Let's go ahead and subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't do 5 minus 6. So to make it a 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. So let's make a new box. 90. Okay. 16 times 10 is 160. I'm going to try 5. Let's try it. Let's do 16 times 5, because I know half of 16 is 8 is 80, so maybe that'll give me about the right way. I went halfway down from 10. 6 times 5 is 0 with a remainder of 3. 1 times 5 is 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm going to take out a group of 5. 5 times 16 is 80. 5 times 16, over here I got 80. When I subtract, I get 10. 16 cannot go into 10 because 10 is smaller. So I had 15, remainder 10. But I have to figure out what I should do with that. So how many rows will they need so everyone has a seat? So I know that there'll be 15 rows, but I have a remainder 10, and 10 are seats. I have 10 seats left over. So should I only use the whole number? So should I only use this? Should I round up to the next number, 16? Should I write this as like a fraction? Should I change it into a decimal? Or should I only use the remainder? I'm going to try rounding up, because I know if I have 15 rows and then I have these leftover people, I need to reserve another row. So I'm going to round up. So I'm going to bump this to 16 rows because I need one more. Because I can't leave those people randomly hanging out by themselves. I can't do that. Alright, so let's look at 2. While at the game, Abby, Megan, Riley, and Whitney share a tub of popcorn. The cost of the popcorn was $6. Okay? They split the cost equally between 4 friends. How many friends? 4. How much did everyone have to pay? So I know I had $6, and I need to divide that up among 4 friends. Well, that can only go in one time. So I have 2 left over. But 4 can't go into 2. So how am I going to do that? When I'm talking about money, Should I use only the whole numbers? Everybody just pays $1? The 4 friends pay $1? Well, that wouldn't work. So I'm going to kind of draw this out to think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here are my $6. Now I have to split them up among 4 friends. So this is the first friend, the second friend, the third friend, the fourth friend all pay $1. But what am I going to do about those extra $2? Well, everybody could round up and pay $2, but then I'd have extra. Should I turn it into a fraction? Well, when I go to the store, I don't pay $1.03. I don't use fractions. Do I use decimals in money? Yes. So what do? Can I split that in half? So I have 4 friends. So every friend will pay 1, and then they'll half of $1. What is half of $1? $1.50. So when I'm talking about money, I want to make it go into decimals because money does go into decimals. Money looks like this. So I want to use decimals when I'm talking about money and split that up in that example. All right, so during the warm-up, several practice pucks were used by the players. After warm-ups were over, the staff collected the pucks and put them into boxes of 12. So I have a box, 12 fit into it. I have another box, 12 fit into it. I can keep putting them into boxes of 12. Any extra pucks that did not fill a box were given to the fans. Oh, it might be important. Any extra pucks were given to the fans. If they collected 81 pucks, how many pucks did they give the fans? These were leftovers. They gave the leftovers to the fans. All right, let's talk about this. 81. I'm going to split up into groups of 12. I already know 12 times 10 is 12 with 0 at the end, 120. So that's too big. So anybody who knows their times tables, how many 12s fit into 81? I know 12 times 5 is 60. What's 12 times 6? 72. 12 times 7 is 84. That's too big. So I'm going to have to do 12 times 6, which is 72. Subtract 7, make this an 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. But what was the question? Any extra pucks that did not fill a box were given to the fans. If they collected 81 pucks from the ice, how many pucks did they give the fans? These represent the number of boxes. These represent the leftovers. So how would I answer that question? Remainder only. So 9 pucks they gave the fans. So this is one where I would use the remainders. Okay, let's keep going. So the Carolina Hurricanes Community Relations team sent several boxes of cookies to sections where the schools were sitting. There were 40 cookies per box. Oh, 40 cookies per box. So I have a box and there are 40 cookies for each row of 16 people to share. Oh, share. Share means divide. So 40 cookies per box for each row of 16. Okay, so I had 40 cookies, but I have to share that among 16. So let's look at this. I'm going to make a list of what my multiples of 16 are. Because 40 isn't very high. I know I'm not going to get up very high to see how many 16s go into 40. So 16 plus 6 is 12. 1, 2, 3. That's 32. That's pretty close, so I think I should use 2 groups. 2 times 16 is 32. So my answer here is 2 remainder 8. All right, now let's go back. How many cookies would each person get? Well, I know they'd get 2 cookies, but what am I going to do with this leftover? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So everybody gets 2 cookies, but I have these 8 leftovers. What could we do? I think some of you might be thinking, cookies are really important, I don't want to waste them. I think we should cut them in half. And everybody would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, now I have 16 halves. So maybe I could do like a fraction. Everybody would get 2.5 cookies. Or some of you might be saying, that's kind of weird. You don't really know the people on the aisle. I don't know that I necessarily want to break a cookie and give them in half. So I think that instead, I should just be using the whole number and get 2 cookies. I could kind of see either answer. So 2.5 cookies, I could see why some people might not want to waste cookies, but then some people, they might not know those people, and that might be a little awkward splitting a cookie with somebody you don't know. So I can see that you would do either one. All right, so we have one more here, and I want you to kind of decide this one on your own. So after the game, Jackson wanted to buy some souvenir pucks. Souvenir means what I take home to remember for his family and friends. He had $25 in his pocket. The pucks cost $4 each, including tax. How many pucks would Jackson be able to purchase? So you need to divide and then see what you're going to do with that remainder. Are you going to leave it off and only use the whole number? Are you going to round that number up? So I'm looking for which of these, I'm looking to see that you've done work, you've divided, and then which one of these you're going to use and what your final answer would be.